Okay, so one day I was sitting down, eating some breakfast, doing my thing, right? And then some guy knocks on my fucking door. I mean, he just starts going bang, 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 out of nowhere. So I look at him, I'm like, hello? And he's like, yeah, are you Walter White? And I was like, no, I'm not Walter White. And he was like, well, you look like Walter White. And I was like, okay, and? And then he's like, can I inspect your house? And I was like, no, you can't inspect my house. And he said, fine, too fucking bad. And then he fucking, just kicks me down the door and just barges in and looks, and then he looks around. He finds a singular egg in my fridge, and I mean a singular egg, uno egg, right? And he's sitting there and he's looking at me. He's like, is this your egg, sir? And I was like, yeah, it's my egg. And he's like, you mind if I take a look at it? And I was like, I don't care, it's an egg. So he cracks it open, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, a fucking thing of methamphetamine falls out. And he looks at me, he's like, is this your meth? And I was like, no, it's not my meth. And he's like, well, it just came out of your egg. And I was like, yeah. And I don't know how that would have gotten there. And then he takes the meth, and it's like, I'm talking, this is crystal grade too, like glass grade meth. I'm talking pure crystal, okay? And he fucking takes it out and walks outside. And then I don't see him for like a week and a half, right? And then I'm sitting there, and I'm at the store, and like I'm walking with my shopping cart, doing my whole thing, and then like out of nowhere I see the motherfucker, and I was like, okay. So he like walks up to me, and then asks me the same question. And I'm at Walmart, I'm just browsing for stuff, and like he asks me, yo, are you Walter White? And I was like, I'm not Walter White, get off of my dick. And then, out of nowhere, he like puts his hand into my shopping bag, or like my cart or whatever it was at the time, and he pulls out a bag of meth. And I'm like, that's not my meth, I promise, I put that on my life. And he's like, yeah, it's your meth, bro. And I was like, it's not my meth, I don't do meth, I don't do drugs in general. And he's like, I'm gonna have to take this out. And I was like, you do you, it's not my meth. And then like, I don't know how, and then like he comes back with the fucking police. And he's like, sir, you'll have to come with us. And I was like, no, I'm not coming with you. He's like, yes, you are. And I was like, do you have a warrant or a reasonable suspicion? He's like, yes, we have reasonable suspicion that you are committing meth. And I was like, I'm not committing meth. And then he pulls out the bag and asks me what it is. I was like, run that through the fingerprint. Fingerprint that shit. And then he fingerprints it and finds no fingerprints. So it's just a random bag of meth with no fingerprints. So he lets me off with a warning. He's like, okay, but if I catch you with meth, you aren't going anywhere else. I was like, okay. So I'm finishing up my groceries and I head home, and I'm doing my thing, taking a nap, and then the guy pops into my window. And then at this point, I'm like, nah, get the fuck off my property. Get off of my property. And he's like, why? And I was like, because you're gonna plant more meth in my house. And then, like, out of nowhere, like, I guess, I pushed him off, okay? This is kind of dark. I pushed him off, and he gets impaled by my tree, and then I'm thinking that's done. I was like, okay, I'm gonna just leave you there, because no one will find your body anyway. So, and then, like, out of nowhere, I'm like, but what if they do? So I fucking take his body off, and then all of a sudden he's breathing again. And I was like, huh? Why are you breathing? And he's like, because I can't explain it. And I was like, okay, fine, but get off of my property, and I never want to see you again. And he gets off my property, and like, I never see him again.